But yeah, let me know. Let me know in the comment section. All right, let's move on. So another show that I want to talk about was You, and I was able to like kind of, yeah, it's the final season. I was waiting to watch it because like sometimes, man, when I have a show that I really like, I get a little bit of like separation anxiety when the show's gonna end, and like I'll refuse to watch like the end of something. Like for example. And this is more so because of like kind of what happened and but like House of Cards, right? That was one of my favorite shows. Then Kevin Spacey got canceled. You know what I mean? They found that he was doing some freaky stuff. And then I never watched that last season. That last season that he's not on. I guess they killed Frank Underwood, right? I guess they kill him. Like, you know what I mean? I never knew what happened at the end of that show. You know what I mean? And it was partly because it was like I liked the show, but obviously I was watching the show for Kevin Spacey because he was killing that role. But then like seeing how he was moving in that show was like kind of similar to like how he was moving in real life, and it made me like think like I can't support this, man. Like I'm not gonna boycott Netflix, but I don't have to watch this show anymore. So, but anyway, that's how I kind of feel. You does it's not the same way, but just in the sense of like not wanting to see the end. That's how I felt about You. But what a season. What a season, man. Season 5, they really did their big one with this one. I'm not gonna say it is the best overall, but it's definitely one of the best seasons overall. I would have to look back and really like kind of rank this, but like it's not the best because like I think learning about everything that happens, like seeing his this world develop was very exciting. It's definitely it might be two, you know what I'm saying? Like it's up there because of just everything. And it kind of took you back, like, and it kind of makes you think, like, dang, was this show this good this whole time? Like, that's how it was. Um, I feel that though, there's definitely a disconnect. Like, if you didn't do a rewatch of season 4, I feel like the break between seasons 4 and season 5 made it a bit difficult to fully connect the seasons. Outside of the fact that Joe was with Kate, who was from the previous season, he married her and they kind of went on live happily ever after. Besides that, anytime they would make references to older characters and I could kind of remember that he was setting up all these like rich people to be his victims, right? Like I can remember that. But like what the characters' names were, why he had beef with them, all that type of stuff, like that was a disconnect. So like when they were showing certain characters other than the wife, it was kind of confusing to like really put it together, even though they were trying to do a good job in this season to remind you of the previous season. But like again, I didn't do a rewatch, and I feel like it was like 2 or 3 years between season 4 and 5. So like it didn't do well to help connect. It yeah, like I kind of forgot a lot of the different things, but overall. This got to be one of the craziest seasons yet for sure. Um, this is the second season where people were actively plotting on Joe. Like, I think, when he had his incident with Love Quinn, right? And she kind of like turned the tables on him. That wasn't necessarily planned. Like, that was a circumstance because, she discovered that he was who he was, and then he discovered who she was, and how, and she just tried to turn the tables on him and try to, get him out of here at the end. But season 4, they were actively, I remember that they were actively plotting against him. Like they figured out who he was, and then they were like, oh, we're gonna get him out of here. And season 5 was the same type of energy. So what happens in this season overall? Spoiler alert. This man Joe got catfished, right, by a girl that was basically trying to get him to confess to all of his crimes, and it was a very elaborate catfishing attempt, right? Like it was elaborate. So you got to definitely watch the show to get all that elaboration, but it was kind of crazy. Um, and that was like the mid-season plot twist. Like when we find out he's catfished, it's like episode 5. You know what I mean? So 5 or 6, and then we get, and basically like the second half of the season is him trying to like get out of that. But prior to that, the season was still wild because this was probably the sloppiest that Joe has ever been. And again, he don't do things right all the time. He's a hopeless romantic. He's crazy. He's wild. But this was probably the sloppiest I've seen Joe. Like one example was that, bro, he tried to kidnap a woman who was a twin, and he kidnapped and he kidnapped the wrong one. And when he realized he kidnapped the wrong one, he tried to do his best Joe, right? He tried to do his best Joe, like where he gets all psychological to convince them to trade places. Like that's how crazy that was. Like, and I was like, bro, this guy is wilding out. Like, you know what I mean? He had, this wife try to, encouraging him to do that, even though he was like swearing that he, you know, changed his life. Like it was crazy. Um, but overall, I do love it. Again, this is 10 out of 10 recommend for real, for real. But this show just it's so crazy, this show, man, because it has a strange way of making you root for Joe even though you know that he's dead wrong. Like you know that he don't got no business doing half of the things that he's doing, but you rooting for him because like there's these glimpses of his personality where it's like, nah, he's a good guy. Like, oh, it's not that serious. Oh, like, oh, he's misunderstood. Like the show does a good job of like manipulating you a little bit. And then you realize like, oh yeah, this guy's crazy. So the show is over, right? And I'm not gonna tell you what happens, but like what happens at the end is what should happen, right? And it's not a romantic ending. I'll say that. It's not what Joe wants necessarily, but it's what should be done because like when you really break that, like I'm telling you, man, can't you talk about cancel culture being big now? I can just imagine what future generations are gonna look back on this show and say, like, yo, y'all like this show about a dude that was like a serial stalker of women and used to lock them up and like when people look and then y'all liked it and like girls had a crush on this like when you break it down like that, in retrospect, hindsight it's and people gonna be like, dang, yeah, that was wild that we really watched that. But good show overall, man.